What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about Fortnite OG's Season 6 update. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of today's update. So as far as map changes are concerned with this update, the Loot Lake House is now floating. Similar to how it was in Chapter 1, Season 6, it's a bit different now because it's like draining life out of the 0 point or something. But from a gameplay perspective, it's pretty similar. You'll be able to walk to the Loot Lake House, and then once you get close enough to it, you'll start like being able to fly and deploy your glider. This can be helpful for getting around the map, but this also makes this Loot Lake House a pretty overpowered spot in the center of the map, because if you're here, it's pretty easy to get shots on anybody approaching from either direction. So it's nice. You can use it as some mobility, you know, like if you clear Pleasant, you can maybe rotate to Loot Lake and then fly around, but you do have to keep in mind that it is kind of a position of advantage in that area for sure. There's also construction that has started on the rocket at Dusty Diner. So if you go to the top part of Dusty, that spot of the map has also changed a bit today. For vehicles that were added today, we got the drift board and the quad crasher. Both of these are pretty good for mobility. The drift board only has a slot for one person and you can shoot while you're on it. The quad crasher has room for 2 players, and with the drift board you can kind of fly around. I'll have a clip of it on screen now. I'm pretty bad at this. I didn't really use this much back in the day, but people who are better at it are able to kind of fly around. You just kind of like boost as you're jumping and hold your kind of camera backwards to like, you know, get that elevation, and it's pretty good. You can fly to an extent with the quad crasher, but it's been nerfed from how it was in Chapter 1. But if you boost and pull back when going over like a hill or a ramp, you can get more air on the quad crasher and get around the map pretty quickly. So both of these vehicles are going to be nice rotation for getting around the map faster. For the loot pool changes, we got the heavy AR added, which is quite good in zero builds. I never really liked this gun back in the day for builds, but in zero build, I enjoyed using this weapon a decent amount today. It has a fair amount of bloom if you full auto it, but when you tap fire it, it's pretty accurate. And it has like damage to back that up. One of the things that I haven't been the biggest fan of this season has been like tap firing the main, like the regular AR at times, because the damage can be so pitiful. Like not pitiful, but it's just not great. Whereas the heavy AR has that extra damage. If you had headshots, it's going to hit really hard. And it kind of rewards you for tapping. Whereas like with the normal AR, like there's times where I would have to tap and I just felt like my damage was like pointless anyways. So I think the heavy AR is quite good for zero build. The double barrel shotgun was added. This thing is super annoying and it's pretty powerful. It does like, I think over 100 body damage, and it has like basically no range. So if you're using the double barrel, you just barrel stuff somebody, go for body shots. It doesn't have much of a headshot multiplier at all. Just go for body shots, barrel stuff, and you can get kills using the double barrel shotgun. At the time, this was kind of seen in Chapter 1 when it was added as like a very low skill weapon to just kind of give anybody a bailout. Also in today's update, the Porta-Fortress was added, which is like a huge porta-fort. It's like mini porta-forts in one. Very powerful, very effective. You can only carry one in a stack, but this definitely changes the game in zero build. I had a lot of endgame zones play out around these today, and like you basically make an entire like little village. It's very good. It's like a castle. You want to control these if you can, but also if there's an enemy, you know, posted up in one endgame, you're probably going to have to take it. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I saw some people kind of complaining about how OP these are in-game, but I think I would almost rather have an in-game that plays out around a porta-fort, even if I'm the one that has to push it, than just those like boring in-games where it's like super open and nothing's happening. There are ways to push this and kind of take it from your opponent. And like I said, I would kind of rather have that than just like the huge wide open zones where nothing is happening until zone forces it to. But that's just me. Dynamite was also added in this update. This is a thrown explosive that does a lot of structure damage. If you have anybody camping in a house, this will basically remove the entire house. The 6-shooter pistol was added. I never really cared for this weapon. It was never really seen as a good weapon. It does shoot faster when you hip fire, and I think it has more damage when you aim in. So it's kind of like 2 guns in one, but I was never fond of this weapon at all. The Clinger grenades were added. These are basically just sticky grenades. Shockwaves were unvaulted in this update, which is great, but they are pretty inconvenient to find. I think I won like 5 or 6 games today, and I think in 2 games total I had a max stack of shockwaves, so it's definitely inconvenient to find them like most of the things in the game currently. For a lot of today, I was running double mobility with the Grappler, the plunger grappler thing that's been in all Fortnite OG, and the shockwaves, and I found that to be quite good. And the reason I specified which grappler I used is because the grapple gloves were added in today's update. You can get these from a rift event on the map that'll just spawn randomly. I seem to have it happen a decent amount at Salty Springs from what I played today. I don't know if it always spawns there, but in a lot of my games it was there. And then you can also get the grapple glove from a supply drop. It has decent spawn rate out of a supply drop. I did not enjoy my time using the grapple glove though. It's compared to the regular grappler, and I probably will make a mobility video, which is talking about all the mobility items in the game, but compared to the regular grappler, I think I'd rather have the regular grappler. It's more spammable. I feel like I get around faster, and also you're impervious to fall damage, whereas with the grapple glove, you can take fall damage if you get shot out while using it. And then also it seemed bugged to me in today's update. I don't know why, but it was like I was constantly hitting invisible walls when using the grapple glove. Like I couldn't like fling myself forward. Sometimes it worked, but like I said, it's like I was hitting like bugs constantly with it, so I'd rather just not use this item. I think the grappler was better anyways. And then if you play build mode, the bouncer, chiller turret, and mounted turrets were all added as trap items, and not chiller turret, chiller trap. These were all added as trap items in today's update, so those are interesting. For what was vaulted today, it's going to be the heavy shotgun, smoke bombs, portaforts, the burst rifle, impulse grenades, and C4. So a decent amount of items did get vaulted for today's update. I know a decent amount of people did like the heavy shotgun and the burst, so you'll probably be sad to see those go. And that is it for today's update. The big changes, I think, are the vehicles that were added and the heavy AR being added, as well as shockwave grenades and the portafortresses are definitely going to change how zero build plays. And this update was pretty interesting because at the start of the season, Fortnite put out patch notes and they basically detailed what would be coming in each week. The updates for Fortnite OG are going to be every Thursday. We're getting like a different season's update. Today's was season 6. But this update had changes that weren't included in those initial patch notes. And then also those initial patch notes didn't mention things being vaulted. So now we know to kind of expect, you know, those patch notes to be an outline, but it's not going to stick to that one-to-one. So each week there might be things coming that, you know, is a surprise to us, and things that are vaulted, which is a surprise to us. But that is going to be it for this video. I'm going to let some gameplay play out of a recent game I got on stream with this update. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. In-game will just be everyone fighting for control over the fortresses? Yeah. But I think I would rather have that than in-game just being like who's willing to wait longer with a sniper, you know? That's like how the open field zones typically play out. I don't know if this is the play. That's not exactly where I wanted to go. He rifted. So I'm not going to get the kill on this. But him rifting is low-key good for me there because now I can play I'm like alone on this side of zone. Oh, he rifted last second. Dang, dude. If he ended up in the water, he's dead there. How many rifts did this man have? That was the same guy that rifted away from me earlier. I'm sad. I wanted that to work out.